Hello, hello, hello. This is Helen Thomas from the CDFM study group. All right, so I want to do one of my 5 minutes or less videos for you today, and that will be on federal budget revenues and expenses. How does the government make money? And also, what are the type of expenditures that the government has? What do we have to, what kind of bills does the government pay? So we want to look at it. This is part of the CDFM exam. So you may not remember the actual percentages. I wouldn't say spend a whole lot of time memorizing the percentages. You probably need to look at the impact. So I did a graph like this where you can actually see, for instance, the federal budget breakdown. The categories are income tax, let's start from the bottom, Social Security, corporate taxes, excise tax, and other. So even if you can't see the percentages, what you'll see here when you ask, well, how does the federal government make money? You will see that the two primary ways in which the federal government makes money is through individual income tax, which accounts for 50% of the money taken in, and Social Security / Medicaid. So if you are in the workforce and you see they take out Social Security, Medicaid out of your paycheck in addition to the individual income tax, well, because both of those categories together is about 5, 6, 7, 86%. So the majority of the way the government makes money is through your income tax. So when they talk about increasing income tax, as you can see, that's why that conversation consistently comes up, because that's how they make half of the money that they take in comes from that category. So those are your revenues. The top highest revenues, Social Security, Medicaid, and individual income tax. Don't even memorize the percentages. The expenditures, what are the bills? So I colored these expenditures. These are your mandatory bills, your must funds. I colored those in red so you can see these are the bills that the government has to pay regardless. So all the money they take in, then they have to pay interest on the debt, mandatory bills, Medicaid, Medicare, and they got to pay people their Social Security. So the discretionary budget is in green. You see the bottom here is defense discretionary. That's the amount of money that they spend to do everything else. Repair roads, improve education, your defense, your DOD. So the DOD, out of this 39%, the DOD gets the half of that discretionary budget, a little over half actually. And the rest of the agencies, your Department of State, Department of Education, Department of everybody else, they have to use this amongst themselves, whereas the Department of Defense gets all of this on its own. So that's why when they talk about cutting expenses, you see that they look on the Department of Defense first, because as when it comes to the discretionary budget, the DOD defense budget is a little bit over half of the discretionary. So that was pretty much all I wanted to say about revenues and expenses for the federal government, how the money comes in, and then all of these mandatory must fund bills that the government has to pay first, and then discretionary is the green, what we have to do everything else. And of the discretionary, the Department of Defense gets the majority of the discretionary budget. All right, be sure to subscribe on our YouTube page. When you go to CDFM Study Group YouTube, it's important for you to leave comments or even likes, because the more activity the study group has on YouTube, then YouTube will promote our YouTube platform. So thank you so much for stopping by. This is Helen Thomas and the CDFM Study Group. I'll see you guys again next time.